Hello guys, hope you're all keeping well. So today, as you can see in front of you and the time lapse before, this is Republicbricks 303rd Battle Pack. Included in this set was the ATRT, the Speeder, 2 303rd Troops and Captain Keeley. Now, we're going to look at a basic overview of the set and then we'll jump into pros and cons and the building experience. But for now, we'll jump into a review of the figs. The figures are fairly accurate here. This is Republicbricks 360 print, standard black stud. The detail is, as you'd expect from Republicbricks, is a really good high quality standard. I like how there's elements of battle damage on this fig, also such as the comlink, little details like that. Don't go miss on Republicbricks' prints. Really well printed, basically good design. With the CAC 303rd unit helmet. My only kind of grumble about this is I don't know if the camera will pick it up, is there's a shine to the helmet, like a brand new shiny shine, and a matte finish on the minifig. Now, nobody's fault, however, it would have been pretty cool if they could have either had a more battle or matte kind of finish on the helmet. Keeley is also really well done. He is, on all the images I've tried to find of him, fairly accurate to how he was depicted in the show. A clone unit I wish we got to see more of was the 303rd. They just look so cool. However, kind of sucks they died so early on. Keeley's helmet is accurate. Love the horns and the tails on the side. Really accurate. Also, with the quality of the build, it is really well. The quality of it is really good. Using big labels such as CAC for the helmets. We've got the Cape Cantina for all the cloth pieces on this set. The official Lego, nothing to me seemed shoddy at all. As you can see, with it being fresh out the packet, it does have tendency to pop up and fold back. A little bit of blue tack on the front and back would help that mold into place. I might leave it for a week or so. That'll help that mold into place nicely. As well as that, we've got the skirt down here. The figure's absolutely immense. Looks really good. Love the damage across him and things like that. There's not a single thing wrong with this fig. Unfortunately, with this set, I didn't receive an antenna for him, nor did I receive any blasters for any of the figs. Whereas the other two that I've got set to one side there, they came with blasters and the antennas and stuff, which is unfortunately a shame. However, I'm not going to grumble about that. Moving on, we'll have a look at the vehicles now. The speeder bike itself looks really good. I don't think it's very fair to compare it to the 501st speeder. However, it is the most recent thing Lego released, and I think it does look a little bit nicer than this. Also, with the curved section here and a couple of the details on this, just show it's kind of an outdated look of a speeder, I think, now compared to the brand new 501st speeder we're looking at now. One thing that I really do like is, because the sled pieces are on clips, they do line up fairly straight. There is a little bit of play in them, however, you can get them fairly straight, whereas on the new 501st speeder, it does, you can move them. I also really like the blaster on the front. I like how minimalistic that is if you look at it from the front. Just using them two little clips really gives the blasters that tight, kind of streamlined look to the build. My only kind of see, this isn't really Republicbricks' fault, it's more of a design fault. If I were a kid to play with this set, I'll just drop the camera here 2 seconds. If I was a kid to play with this set, I'd be holding it probably at the back here, or maybe from the sides, or maybe from here for you dragging it on the floor. Now, unfortunately, when you apply a bit of pressure to the midsection here, you can see the set comes apart. Now, it comes apart pretty easily, as what connects this front section to the rest of the speeder bike is just, there's 4 studs there. Now, that isn't a problem. However, if you were to try and put him into his seat and he sits on 2 studs just at the back there, you can just make them out. You try and put him in, every single time you try and push him in, he's going to do that. So you're going to have to hold the fig as well as the build, as well as trying to fasten him in. It becomes a bit of a faff, which is a shame. As well as that, this back portion here is extremely loose. That is purely because it all sits on one stud. So you have that one stud there, and then you also have the singular 2x1 with the one stud there to hold this seat in. Now the seat design is really cool. I like how it looks to me very Star Warsy. It looks really well detailed. However, it doesn't quite fit to scale with the fig, as this guy has to sit pretty bolt upright when he's on here, and his helmet actually makes contact with the top of the headrest. Now if the headrest was up here, it would have no problem with that, but then you would lose some of the space here. And the black speeder itself is pretty minifig accurate. It is very close to the way it would be in Star Wars. As well as that, this is how this whole back piece connects together. It looks really nice. I really like the look of it when it's finished. However, unfortunately, with it finishing the way it finishes, and it only being like one stud for everything to fasten to, that makes everything quite flimsy and loose. Everything comes apart fairly easily. You try and push one thing down, something else pops off, and things like that. It is unfortunately a bit of a chew on to get everything in. It's just unfortunate the build goes that way. So like I was trying to tell you before, the front portion of the build rests, as you can see here, and the front portion of the build goes a bit like this. Now the only thing that holds the front of the speeder bike on is these two studs here. Now later on in the instructions, you put this 4x1 on, and then you put the 4 2x1s with the one stud sticking up. Now you'll notice that at the time when it tells you to apply this final red one, it doesn't actually hit that 4x1, and that really confused me at first, as I thought I'd missed a piece or something like that. Turns out that you don't need to put that piece in there yet. Ideally, what you could do is you could wait till this part here, part 12, to add that 2x1 with the stud to the curved piece, and then slide that into place there. That would make a lot more sense if you ask me, rather than trying to figure that out all at once. So then by the time you finished, it ends up looking like that. Just little parts on the instructions, unfortunately, I found slightly confusing. Maybe to someone younger, they would also find that as confusing. However, all in all, the speeder bike build itself finishes nice. However, I think if you were going to use it as a mock, it is mockable. I'm not really too sure why there's that little bit of gap there. However, for me, I couldn't really imagine myself as a child enjoying to play with this build, as unfortunately there's too many pieces on there that would fall apart with some rough playing. It's definitely probably become more of a display piece than anything else. Moving on to the AT-RT section of this build, this part was, to me, a much better build. The AT-RT itself is very minifig accurate. In Star Wars, the AT-RTs aren't all that big compared to the Troopers, and as you can see, to scale, it is pretty close. I like the articulation of the legs. I like the foot design. It does look almost quite like to the AT-RT itself. Compare this to the Lego 501st AT-RT. It is almost night and day differences. This is a much more minifig scale, accurate scale kind of build, and I really enjoyed building it. There is a bit of movement in this front section to this back section. However, to pull it apart, it does take quite a bit to separate the two. And this is the main bulk of the build, the legs and the main body part. The only kind of thing that isn't so accurate about this build is the two antenna points here are supposed to be one then two here, rather than one behind the other. However, I can live with that. The front section of the build was also really quite a nice little portion of snot technique, studs not on top and things like that. I thought was really cool on this build. like I said, the only kind of thing you could grumble about is the fact that the AT-RT front portion here wobbles from side to side. However, that to me doesn't bother me. The articulation of the legs, I think, is also really cool. You can make this build look like it is moving, and to me it is a very mockable build due to its minifig scale, size, accuracy, and the amount of posability there is in this set as well. Also really does give it some well-deserved brownie points, I believe. Unfortunately, it doesn't really sit on studs very well. Just due to these two front clips here, you can snap the feet in really well, the two front parts of this. However, to try and snap the back in, it unfortunately isn't going to happen due to these clips here just not sitting right. However, in a mock, if you were to use it as a mock, you would just put some pins in for the front two pieces there to sit on, and just kind of give it the benefit of the doubt. The AT-RT alone is really worth it for the battle pack. I've built 3 of these, dead easy build. The instructions were so good to follow, and the overall product is really good. Minifig does sit in really quite nicely. I'm not going to complain about how the minifig sits in this build at all. It folds down really nicely as well, actually. So if you have an AT gunship, it will sit down nice. But as you can see there, the fig sits there nicely. Fortunately, his helmet does catch this back little joint here, which does kick it out of parallel. However, that is perfectly fine. All in all, this set looks really good, and I really did enjoy building it, especially the AT-RT. Here is the set, guys, in all of its glory. Now, this is my first custom purchase, one of 3 actually. As I've said before, I bought 3 battle packs. At the start of this, I asked myself 3 questions. Do I like it? Do I think it's good? Would I buy again? And is it playable or mockable? So, starting off with number 1, do I like it? Yes, I like this set. I think it's really cool. I love the figures. Lego don't make these kinds of figures. They probably never will. To get your hands on 3 or 4 custom soldiers is ideally kind of an army builder's dream, and I love building armies. Do I think it's good? Yes, I think it's good. I really like how the color scheme matches. It's not like Republicbricks has went out there and made an AT-RT that's bright white with the dark red pieces. It just wouldn't match the feel of these soldiers. I like the light bluish grey with the dark red. Everything matches, everything looks good. Yes, it's a good set. Yes, I like it. Would I buy it again for the same price I paid for it? Yes, I would. Now he's got the build your own battle packs. I would remove Keeley, as you don't need multiple Keeleys, and I would definitely add myself in more 3 or 3rd troopers if they were available. Yes, it would have been nice to receive blasters and the antenna. I'm not going to bother crying over that, as I've got plenty of the blasters I can use and replace that with. The price of $70, I think it was, maybe 80, which is equivalent to about 60 to 70 pounds. Yes, it is steep. For that price, you could buy yourself 2 501st battle packs. However, they weren't out at the time I purchased this, so it wasn't like it wasn't as if I had anything to toy with. I probably still would have bought these as well as getting a 501st battle pack if they were out or not. And finally, is it playable or mockable? Playable wise, the AT-RT is really playable, obviously with the articulation of the legs, like I've said, being able to move the blaster up and down. Yes, the AT-RT is very playable. The speeder bike, on the other hand, it's playable with, yes, but you'd have to be really careful. Now, if I was a kid pushing this around the floor or something like that, you know, every time you pick it up, nothing moves when you do that. However, as soon as you try and push any part of this build, something does unfortunately break or pop off, especially trying to sit him into this seat. As I showed you, unfortunately it does buckle in the middle, and this back section, if you would hold it by that point, would probably end up coming off at some point, which is unfortunate. However, that'll do it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoy this in-depth review. I will be doing a comparison video of the 501st Battle Pack Speeder and RT compared to this Speeder Bike and RT. But that'll do it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out my Instagram, 21_bricks_, and there'll also be a link to Republicbricks website in the description in case you like any of the models you see today. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.